Joining us now is the Director of News and Politics Editor, Sumner Sambo. Very warm welcome to Newsnight.
Thank you.
Just
so
like
much.
we said, it's a busy campaign in the last 48 hours. The ruling or the presidential candidates of the All Progressives Congress and the opposition presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and Bola Tinubu have been crisscrossing the north central and northwest, you know, wooing voters and the rest. How do you see, the frenzy of the campaigns now?
Well, starting from the APC, their outing in Kaduna State was great. I mean, the outing was full of a lot of party faithful. We saw lots of enthusiastic people coming to the square there, and Governor El-Rufai tried to actually send a political message to Bola Tinubu that, look, I can help, gather lots of people for you. I'm interested in showing that, look, there's a form of solidarity with you. But for political watchers, when you look at that rally and you don't see President Muhammadu Buhari there, in a zone, the northwest zone where the president comes from, I mean, there are 7 states in that geopolitical zone, and President Buhari has not been following Bola Tinubu around, and this is his zone.
President Buhari is in faraway Washington, D.C.
Yes, and that's a political calculation, Christian. We haven't seen President Buhari moving around with Bola Tinubu like former President Olusegun Obasanjo did with Yar'Adua in 2007. And people are beginning to ask questions and wonder, why did the presidency fix this trip almost at the same time that the APC is fixing this rally? Isn't it a clear understanding that is a strategy by the presidential handlers to make it look like President Buhari has a genuine reason to be away from that northwest zonal rally?
But Sumner, have you been looking at the president's body language in recent times and his interviews that, look, let Nigerians vote the best candidate, their choice. And that's why he says he wants to leave a legacy of a free, fair, and just elections.
And that is unsettling a lot of APC leaders. A lot of them are not sure where exactly President Buhari is tilting to. But we could actually see Abdullahi Adamu today at that place calling Bola Tinubu the president in waiting, introducing him as the president, as the person that will take over from President Muhammadu Buhari, still insisting that as far as they are concerned, Bola Tinubu is going to be the successor of President Muhammadu Buhari. Yes, we've heard Buhari saying all of this and it's causing lots of concerns, but I mean, Tinubu himself has not, shown any sign that, he's been affected.
He's not wary.
Yes, he's going ahead with his campaign. We haven't seen Buhari visiting several states with him, but nonetheless, he's going ahead. Yesterday, we saw him in Buhari in Kaduna State, where Rufai took him to that trouble zone.
The epicenter of terrorism and banditry.
Yeah, banditry, and of course, he was even given a traditional title position. I mean, very fantastic outing, saying the right words, which is that if he's elected president, the issues of insecurity will be tackled, and Nigerians wouldn't need to be running from one place to the other. Is it saying that the issues of insecurity have not been tackled by the incumbent APC administration? Well, these are the issues, because sometimes when they communicate from that perspective, you want to wonder if they are not, demarketing the party which is already in power. I mean, the president who is already seated. But well, these are politics, and it's left for us to see whether they are also not silently sending a coded message to President Buhari through those kind of utterances at times. But let's go to the campaign of Atiku Abubakar. We're seeing him going to Plateau State saying that, look, he's going to ensure that there is peace in Jos. He's also saying that he will help redevelop the solid minerals in Nasarawa State and all of that. Well, PDP has governed the states before. Are the people satisfied with what PDP offered them in the past? There are lots of questions being asked. Why should the people of Plateau and the people of Nasarawa, the Middle Belt people, trust Atiku Abubakar and the PDP, considering that in this same Plateau State, remember when Yar'Adua was in power, I mean, there were lots of killings. General Dambazao had to even be fired at some point because of some of those things that had to do with the killings in the state, and the outcry was there. Now, why should the people of these two states want to trust a PDP that in the past looked like they didn't really care so much other than getting the votes? Can Atiku be trusted by people in these two states? Won't they be left hanging when he comes to power? Now, if you look at the trajectory of the PDP when it was in power in these two states, because it's currently being governed by the APC, both in Plateau and Nasarawa, you find out that there's been this debate whether indeed the APC has not performed better than the PDP in these two states, because the people claim that the previous administrations didn't act more, to their own benefit. But well, under this one, some are saying that these other governors have done very well. But the critical thing here is that Atiku has to resolve the issues in his party. Because when you see the political bigwigs in these states, many of them are still dominant in the APC. But well, there's a movement that's ongoing, like for example, with Ombugadu, who is the governorship candidate of the PDP in Nasarawa State. There's a thinking that, well, he may upset the incumbent governor. But I can tell you that the APC keeps saying that, no. I mean, the incumbent governor has performed very well. And there's no how David Ombugadu can withstand Governor Abdullahi Sule. So as it stands right now, it's a testing period for Atiku Abubakar and the PDP. The PDP has its issues still unsettled. A lot of people are still counting on Atiku Abubakar to see if indeed he can unify his party. Because unless that is done, I mean, most of these people who don't want to throw away the governments that they already have and embrace governments that they are not, unsure of. So as it stands right now, the North Central geopolitical zone used to be a stronghold of the PDP. It is left to be seen whether the PDP, beginning from Benue, can be able to bring them back home. But I can tell you with what we've seen Otom doing in Benue, because these three states, Benue, Plateau, and Nasarawa,
used to be one state.
I mean, they tend to, in one way or the other, like to move in one way or the other. Even when the PDP had lost power to CPC in Nasarawa State, nonetheless, you could see that some of those elements moved into the APC, and it's left to be seen if they can trust the PDP back to power. But it's a very, very difficult situation for Atiku Abubakar and the PDP. Iyorchia Ayu is from this zone, the national chairman of the PDP, with what we've seen happening.
And the same thing with Abdullahi, Senator Abdullahi, the chairman of APC.
Yes, he comes from Nasarawa. And so this is a zone for both of them. And so it will be left for these two national chairmen of the two biggest political parties to prove their mettle and see whether indeed they will allow the other political parties like Labour Party that are making an inroad into Benue and Nasarawa State to thrive or not. But I can tell you, it's a zone that's very, very critical. So the determinant on who is going to be the next president of Nigeria. Because after the Northwest geopolitical zone, the next place that you expect votes is
the Northwest.
The North Central, or sometimes it moves to the Northeast. So it's a difficult period for these politicians.
Yeah, that's what some analysts would call political jingoism. But here now, we're looking at the milieu where the campaigns are really situated, domiciled in just state capitals and the rest. We're not like maybe in the Second Republic, seeing presidential campaigns going to the nook and crannies, of each state and the rest. Why this? Is it paucity of funds? Is it time factor? We're not seeing them in local governments and areas. Why?
This trend actually started from about 2007 because of the insecurity that we're having in different states. Most of the campaign stops will actually be at the state capitals. But like you pointed out clearly, it didn't used to be so. In the First Republic and Second Republic, we could see, presidential campaign teams moving from, one state to another using different local governments, and while they are traveling, they will stop by, at border communities. People will have a feel and see the presidential candidate. But nowadays, people don't see the presidential candidates to even touch or to see them directly. Even when they are the campaign grounds in the state capitals, you see that security operatives are everywhere. Look, we need a president that relates with the people, that the people can touch, people can snap pictures with, people can feel, people can see around and say, look, why should I vote you? And then the person will tell you directly. But when you have the big presidential candidates being surrounded by the security operatives, and then the campaigns being stopped at the convention grounds only, you are not seeing that personal touch, like a presidential candidate stopping by at the house of a voter and saying, not even a prominent person, a voter. I mean, just on the way and say, look, I want to be your president. Elect me. This is what I will do for you and all of that. But I mean, it's a big challenge. Because of the insecurity, we've not been able to achieve majority of that. But lastly, one thing I want to say is that because of the transportation networks that have failed us over the years, it's been pretty difficult for Nigerians to be able to know themselves very well. Like in the past, you see, even in trains in those years, political parties will be conducting campaigns inside trains and all of that, moving and spending the night, you know, all through. But because of these issues, of course, we are unable to achieve that, and it's a bad aspect of our political development and culture. We need to redevelop that. People need to see their presidential candidates.
Some political analysts may want to tell you, Sumner, that it's the era of digitization. So why?
Now, apart from that, there's big manism culture. Some of the presidential candidates see themselves. They will adduce
different.
They have this sort of monarchical complex. Okay. They don't want, you know, to be seen with the talakawas, as they call it.
Yeah, the politics editor.
Yeah, they want the vote, but they don't want people to be close to them. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Very quickly before we go, Sumner, you know, and briefly to 18 presidential candidates, and less than a third of them are visible. What is going on?
Christian, the solution is for us to just get back to a situation where we have about
five to eight political parties.
No, about 5 to 8 political parties. Because it's a game of the absurdities. If we have about 80 political parties and people are holding tickets which are trust. I mean, a ticket is like the broadcast license that we have to operate. It's on behalf of the people. You should not be given that recognition as a presidential candidate and not be seen to be acting. And you're just going around within maybe city center, Abuja or Lagos, and claiming to be a presidential candidate. INEC needs to monitor what is going on with the with what some analysts will call fringe political parties. People should not be registered.
Some of them should just go and contest the local government elections. But, you know, in Nigeria...
Yes, I mean, we practice multi-party democracy.
Yeah.
Everybody must be given the opportunity, but INEC must have a situation whereby they monitor those who have been, you know,
active on the political scene.
Yes or no, because you can't just take a party's recognition and then take the candidacy of the party and then just go and sleep in your home or hold it inside your briefcase and be walking around and showing people
portfolio politicians.
Showing the people the certificate of return as the candidate.
Portfolio politicians.
INEC needs to monitor political
probably will be waiting
more.
For you in 2027.
Well,
all right, Sumner Sambo, Arise News Director of News and Politics Editor. Thanks for joining on News Night.